Mr. President, 75% in education.
Why?
Because under his administration, so many high institutions have sprung up. So many universities have sprung up. So many federal colleges of education have. So many polytechnics have sprung up. And under his watch, ASU strike appears to have evaporated into the wind. That's one. Then, Mr. President, against all odds, which include but not limited to the fact that at least Nigeria is passing through excruciating economic pains. Mr. President has gone ahead to provide Nigerian undergraduates the effort which have not had for so many years.
Great. Hello, welcome once again. This is Barry Cosmos Unplugged. Well, this is a podcast where we bring you everything that is going on politically, motivationally, and even bombastically. It all happens here on Barry Cosmos Unplugged. Welcome aboard, people. And today, Nigeria is on fire because of one judge in Nigeria, Peter Lefu, the High Court judge in Abuja, has just thrown the political scene into disarray, where 5 political parties, 5 opposition parties were deregistered today. I mean, just yesterday, before you went to bed, we woke up again. I mean, Boa everywhere is catching fire. One of the biggest opposition parties in the ADC have been deregistered. And that is one heck of a thing. Guess what? Atiku Abubakar, the evergreen, always contestant, always a loser in the election, going for the last time. He said this is his last time. And then all of a sudden, he may not even be on the ballot. And that's the biggest insinuation of all this. The biggest calamity of this one is that the ADC will not be featuring in the election as it stands. But we want to take a look at this. A lot of people say it is because of the APC. The APC is orchestrating this one. They don't want Atiku to be on the ballot. Initially, everybody said they don't want Peter Obi to be on the ballot. But now it's Atiku Abubakar with the ADC. Furthermore, the APP, a young party that is now gaining grants, especially here in Imo State, where they are holding strong and they're bringing one of the biggest opposition to the ruling APC. But now, they have been deregistered, and now we don't know what INEC will do. The next is a court party where Governor Adeleke is supposed to be going for his second time in Osun State, and now this is what is happening. Oh, me tabo. Wonderful. But at the end of the day, this whole shenanigans that is going on in our political circuit, what can be said to be the problem? Our judiciary has been messing up things. Our judiciary has been bringing up all manner of controversial judgment, and one name seems synonymous to almost every controversial judgment in Nigeria: Justice Peter Lefu. Remember, the last time it was done, Justice Peter Lefu gave order that they should be suspended for status quo antebellum. Remember that the ADC has kept through that one. Now it is another battle for the ADC. The APC is the ruling party. And of course, every finger is pointing to them. Accusing fingers, by the way, is pointing to the APC. So join me on this podcast as we analyze the happenings in the political scene here in Nigeria. Well, who else to have a conversation as this, as controversial as this, than the controversial one? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, well, a big voice. He's a big voice on radio here in Imo State. He's a big voice on social commentation. He is one of the most loved and most hated man in Imo State here on radio. But I love him, and today we are going to be discussing with the one and only Chief Jude Ugbaja. Everybody please put your hand for Chief Jude Ugbaja. For those of you who don't know Chief, I call him the controversial one, but he is one of the biggest voices you can take. He has been in the political scene for so long, and this time around, he will be here. He is an ardent supporter of the APC government. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Jude Ugbaja.
It's my pleasure. Listeners, welcome, and then pay attention to what we are going to say. I'm sure that at the end of the day, you will have something to at least satisfy yourself with. Thank you.
Well, Chief Jude, I hope you're not going to go and annoy the whole of my followers today.
I'm not.
Okay, I know you're not going to do that. But definitely, this is a crossroad for us in the political scene. With this kind of judgment, what do you make of this whole situation? where opposition parties are deregistered. Bearing in mind, the accusation against the APC is that they want to run a one-party system, and they are taking out all the viable opposition. Almost every opposition party that has anything of note is having issues. For the first time in Nigerian political scene, all opposition are having issues except the APC. What can you make of this?
Well, the truth is that I do not want to belong to the school of thought, that is criticizing APC. Because, politics is a game of who gets what, when, and how. And the power, is taken, is not given. And like Bongo Sikwe said in one of his musics, nothing good comes so easy. So you don't expect that you just go and relax in the comfort of your house and then the power will be given to you. No. It is the ability to withstand this storm and continue to forge ahead until you get to the end that determines, your success.
But do we need this storm?
Yes, of course, yes, you have to weather through the storm before you can make it at the end of the day.
Why are we having storm all of a sudden in this political dispensation?
Well, that is, nobody can be more Catholic than the Pope. The fact and issue is that the judge has given his judgment. That whether it's right or wrong is not for us as laymen, to determine. But the beauty of democracy is that nobody, or group, or institution, or judge has the monopoly of doing any and everything and expect not to be challenged. So my honest and candid piece of advice to those who've been affected by this judgment is to feel free and appeal and approach the appeal court. And by the way, eventually go to the Supreme Court at the end of the day. If they win at the end of the day, so be. If they don't, they should take their own destinies in their own hands.
Isn't that exactly what APC want, for the ADC to be saddled with judicial cases here and there, and then distract them from even running a good, wonderful campaign for the presidency when people have this doubt that they may or they may not be, and all those craziness? Isn't that exactly the end game of the APC?
I doubt that much. I realized that sometime when I came up with guidelines, some opposition political parties were saying that, those guidelines were against them. And they went to court, and the court gave a contrary judgment to what I said. And at the end of the day, as I speak with you, INEC has appealed against that, and it's still pending in the court. So how can anyone in his or her rightful sense begin to accuse APC of this? I'm not holding brief for APC, but at least we have to do the normal thing. And they come to think of it, even the case in issue, there is a pending court and a pending case at the appeal court. So what the candidates of these political parties can do, there are so many options left for them. Is either they defect out of their own party and join one of the other parties that have not had candidates so far. That's an option. Or go to appeal court and eventually approach the Supreme Court and seek regret. That is
okay. Let's get some. Let me get the calculation. Let's get the calculation. First, INEC from nowhere brought in the issue of timeline for you to do primaries, for you to submit register against the Nigerian Constitution, which is clear that INEC will follow the Constitution. In case there is a discrepancy, the Constitution reigns supreme. In this case, the Constitution has stipulated a 90 days period for all political parties to present their candidates to INEC, but INEC has reduced it into almost 8 months. Now, immediately after this was done, a court rightly ruled in everybody's opinion that the Constitution holds supreme, and INEC went to court to seek stay of execution so that these parties will still be hoodwinked and locked in this timeline they have created, pending when the court case will come. Immediately after that, now deregistration. What exactly is INEC doing? What exactly is APC doing? Because this is what the people are accusing, because APC is the ruling party. The ruling party, APC, appointed the INEC chairman. The ruling party, APC, is in control of all governmental apparatus. So, including the courts, which have now, people say they are now doing things like they are APC members. This is exactly what the situation is in the local palace, in the street, and a lot of people's voices. So in this case now, what exactly is the end game of this whole crisis? Now, I don't want you to tell me that they should go to court. Which court? It's the same court that is causing this wahala. They should go to the same court that has put them into this quagmire they are finding themselves. So which court are they supposed to go to now? That the same court that put them into this madness, they'll go back to the same court. This is a bloody waste of time and a calculated attempt by the APC not to allow them to have a peace of mind running into the politics just to have a field day as a victory parade when they win.
Well, I'm happy that you said that when INEC came up with their own guidelines, a competent court of jurisdiction in Nigeria disagree with them.
No court has disagreed.
No, but why did INEC go to court to seek this is stay of
INEC says stay of execution. That's what we're saying. Should that be?
Oh, well, everybody, just like you and me, we have a right to go to court and ask for anything we want at any particular point in time. That is not the issue. The issue is whether the court will actually grant us that or not. That is what matters most at the end of the day.
Who is INEC working for?
INEC is working for Nigerians.
So if Nigerians want this timeline to be removed and the people they are working for say, no, we don't want timelines, why is INEC appealing?
Well, I think they know best. You know, the INEC is an electoral umpire. Okay. They know what they want that will enable them eventually conduct free, fair, and credible election, whose result will be a reflection of Nigerian electorate wishes and not that of a few privileged politicians that were able to rig their ways through. So I mean, that is the beauty of democracy.
I'm glad you said credible, free, fair election.
That's what every
Can this present INEC have a free and credible election?
Well, it is. I mean,
in your own estimation, what you are saying, according to what you're saying, from the fact that political parties have been deregistered, opposition have been disenfranchised, people are now confused, and nobody knows exactly what will happen. A judge says maintain status quo, and INEC jump on that, interpreted the court listing to go and remove the entire party leadership. Immediately you finish that one, they deregister the same party. Why exactly is INEC in this situation? Is INEC being fair to the opposition?
Well, Barry, my response to that is very quick. Let us wait until we get to the bridge before now.
We're already on the bridge. Which bridge are we getting to again?
I'm coming. And again, you see, according to one professor that delivered a Ajoku lecture some time ago, he said it is still an element on Ajoku there. Some of these cases are pending. It does not mean that eventually they will come out against the opposition political parties. That's why I say let's wait. You see, let us not cry more than they believe. You know what I'm saying? Until
the people of Nigeria, they believe. Yeah. And they're the ones crying. We're only speaking based on what they are crying. So why are we crying more than the belief? Who is the belief in this?
Am I crying? Am I not a Nigerian?
No. You are not a belief because you're not part of the opposition. You are part of the ruling party. So you don't cry. Because the thing is it's favoring you. Why the APC is happy that this thing is happening to the other opposition party?
Well, I think that's an overstatement if you say that APC. How many APC members have you been able to interview to determine whether they are happy?
Are you kidding
like
me?
Myself.
You know what I mean?
Who told you? Well, the important is that I know that democracy must take its course. Okay. And nobody, is an island all by himself. But like I said, even though all these cases are pending, that is the way it should be. And in democracy, you cannot rule out the rule of law.
All right. Right? It's a great one. APC as a party is doing their thing, and ADC as a party is doing their thing. I understand. A lot of people say because APC is the ruling party, they are the ones orchestrating this. Do you believe that, or you think it's just a fallacy they're doing?
I think it's a figment of the author's imagination, a far cry from the truth and the hyperbole. As I encourage Nigerians to disregard and disbelieve them, right? That's such blatant accusation that you cannot eventually prove beyond reasonable doubt. Shouldn't be. But I'm not surprised because it has always been, the stock in trade of the opposition who will always find fault with what the ruling party is doing at any particular point. I'm not saying that the ruling party is a saint. There are areas where they may have their own problems too. But then, like I always said, there is nothing we can do, even though we are against people going to court. If people do not go to court, another thing is to protest. And the protest in Nigeria, you know what it is. Sometimes who lost my cashing on it to begin to, unleash mayhem to the lives and property of innocent Nigerians. So that is why it appears that protest, is no longer working. But the only option that is in line with our constitution is for people to approach the court and seek redress, right? And if our court is not competent enough, I don't think that they should have actually, ruled against those INEC guidelines. That is the issue at stake. Okay. So let us not believe that at any particular point in time our court will give judgment against the opposition. No. That will be
just before we leave this issue of the court judgment that has deregistered 5 political parties. There is a substituting court order of the appeal court that says stay of proceedings. What that simply means, but what we understand is that you cannot hear this court case until the Supreme Court rules on it. And then Justice Peter Liffel sat on the same matter where a higher court of appeal sat and says stay of execution. As a layman, not as a lawyer, but as somebody who is very educated and very experienced in this, Do you think the judge acted according to the law?
Well, I'm not in a position to actually determine whether the judge acted according to law or not. The important is that even the judge himself is not in this country. Most there have been occasions when the NJC took disciplinary measures against the judges that have erred. And then if you feel that what this judge has done is wrong, for goodness sake, you and we can approach NJC and report. Just like I've had some lawyers, they discussing the one who said that they are going to, petition this judge against, to NJC, and that is the way it should be, right? Okay. This judge, nobody has the monopoly of doing any and everything, and they expect that, he will not be challenged, including the judge that actually delivered the judgment. If you feel that what he has done is wrong, for goodness sake, report him to NJC. The NJC will look into it, critically and according to the law. And if they find him guilty, so be it. If they don't, well, we should take our own destiny into our own hand.
Thank you for staying with us, Chief. You have been an ardent supporter of the Tinubu administration. Let's discuss this because it's an opportunity for you to tell us exactly why you think Tinubu is the best choice for Nigeria. Because you have been all over saying Tinubu this, Tinubu that, Tinubu that. While Nigerians are saying a different thing, maybe you're saying something we're not saying. Can you just tell Nigerians and the whole world what exactly Tinubu has been doing great that you are supporting?
Well, the first instance, I think...
I don't know why your voice suddenly went flat.
In the first instance, I think as a good Nigerian, I have the right to support anybody I like.
Definitely.
I'm not supposed to align myself, with what other Nigerians are doing. I have the right to support whomever I think I want to support.
Yeah, of course.
And come to think of it, well, I'm not saying that Tinubu is a saint. If I say that, that would be an overstatement.
Okay.
But at least comparatively, I think he has done his best, even though his best appears not to be enough for Nigerians. Talking about what he did from his first day of assumption of office, when he had the courage and boldness to actually remove the payment of subsidy on imported petroleum products. I think that is a feat for which most previous Nigerian leaders have not been able to, achieve. Come to think of it, it's true that alone impacted on Nigerians negatively, economically speaking. But World Bank and former President Obasanjo told Nigerians that any government policy or program aimed at revamping the economy will initially impact on the citizens negatively, economically speaking. I think that is actually the scenario that is played out, the removal of fuel subsidy. And that is not to say that there are no much advantages associated with that. At least now, every month, we now know that the three arms of government have higher share revenues because they go back with every month. But I know you will agree with me over that.
Is it coming from fuel subsidy removal?
Of course, yes. That's higher share is coming from proceeds from the fuel subsidy payment removal. That is what it is. So whether the government, whether the individuals, tiers of government are using the money effectively or not, is a discussion for another day. But the truth is that the three tiers of government are now going home every month with higher amount of revenue. And this is supposed to translate into the welfare of the citizens. So whether that is being done or not is a discussion for another day. But I think that, come to think of, for instance, in Imo State now, let me take Imo State as a case study. I know that the governor of Imo State has actually done what most governors of the state have not been able to do in the past, increasing the monthly, the minimum wage of workers to 104,000 naira, even when the federal government minimum wage is 70. I think it is an enormous feat, for which we must not have commend him. Again, most of the major roads in Imo State, for instance, particularly those the federal roads from Owerri to Olo, from Owerri to Okigwe, from Owerri to Umuahia, have received the facelift. Every Tom, Duke, and Harry want to agree with me. I know insecurity is still plaguing the state to an unprecedented level, but the governor has equally done his best in fighting same. And come to think of it, at the federal level too, government is doing her best, even though her best appears not to be enough. And you discover that sometimes when you have what you call the saboteur among the system, among the allies, among the ruling party, among those even the leadership position, that is why it appears that the fight against insecurity is becoming a hard nut to crack.
You think somebody is sabotaging?
Of course, yes.
Who? Give an example.
It cuts across the opposition political parties. It cuts across even the military. Cuts across even the police.
Well, that's a strong word of sabotage.
Yes.
Who can you pinpoint as somebody making sabotage?
Mr. President has once told us that he knew that some people who have benefited from the fuel subsidy payment removal are people who are financing terrorism. Have you not heard that before?
No, he said it, but he has not mentioned it.
But let us wait. I know he's going to eventually.
So why are you relocating something that we cannot hold on to?
But it doesn't matter. If the fact that Mr. President has said so, it must actually, reflect on they are going to be exposed sooner and then prosecuted.
You believe so much in what Mr. President says?
Well, what are we talking about? Right? Everybody is looking forward to that. And I'm sure that one day, at least the whole thing will be unveiled and the Nigerians will see for themselves.
I want to actually believe so much in the words of Mr. President, right?
Are you saying that your president is a liar?
I've not said that. I asked you a simple question.
I believe.
Okay, fine.
Because I know
it's good thing that you believe it. Mr. President has said a whole lot of things. For instance, Mr. President told Nigerians that he's going to give us light. If he does not give Nigeria light, we should not vote for him for second term. Do you believe in that?
Well, it's a lie. If you plot the ground, I'm happy you passed the true photo at least where our world.
It's a glory land.
Where our world in photo is mathematics. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I know that if you plot the graph of life with time, all you get is not a straight line graph.
Of course.
But you get what is called a sinusoidal function, the study of university physics, or a wave-like function, or simply put to the layman's one word, ups and downs of life.
Yes.
Sometimes man proposes and God disposes. There are circumstances that might make Mr. President not be.
So all this garnishing you're garnishing now, you're trying to prove that what he said, he didn't lie.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But do you agree that he lied to Nigerians?
I cannot agree to that.
But he just told Nigerians that if he doesn't give us light, 24 hours light, and we will not pay for estimated beating, we should not vote for him come 2027 if he seeks for second time. And now he's still going for the second, asking us to vote for him. Is that not a lie?
All things being equal, Mr. President may not have lied.
But you said you believe in his words so much.
No, I'm coming. I said all things being equal, Mr. President may not have lied. He might actually have a genuine intention, I believe sure. But circumstances beyond his control along the line may have actually
intentions and reality
in that. Yeah.
Is intention and reality. Are you trying to tell me intentions is what he was saying and the reality is different and he didn't lie? Is that what you're saying?
You might have a good intention.
I just want you to accept if you lie to Nigeria or not.
No, I don't want to accept that Mr. President lied to Nigeria. I don't want to because I know the President is not a liar.
That's number one.
It would be unfair and disrespectful for me to call my president a liar. That's the greatest this but I imagine if you are doing that, please turn back that footsteps.
Listen, I'm only stating the obvious. We are doing our job. We're media men.
Yeah.
What I'm saying in essence is that Mr. President told Nigerians and the world that if I don't give you 24 hours light, if I come for second time, don't vote for me. The next question is, do we have 24 hours light in Nigeria?
We are not, but then that's why I told you, see.
So invariably he lied.
There is this saying that man proposes and God disposes. Have you not heard that before?
No, there's a big difference.
Man proposes and God disposes.
There's a big difference between proposition and a promise.
Yeah, well,
a promise is not a proposition.
Well, a promise is just like a proposition because you might promise based on facts on ground. But I mean along the line,
okay.
That's
so you want to call it as a political talk, right? They were just saying it to gather votes.
No.
Is that not deceit?
Mr. President meant very well, but circumstances beyond his control.
So what you're telling me that you can deceive people and then tell them the next thing that you meant well.
The activities of leadership is not just on one man alone. I hope you know.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. I agree with you on that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't want to put you into a problem to it. I'm not trying to force you to say what you don't want to say. Now, you also said you believe in the president's own words.
Of course.
Now, Mr. President told Nigerians of safety nets. He's going to do cash transfers. Nigerians are going to be smiling, and he has promised a whole lot of things, but typically I want to pick one. The president, by January, February this year, told us they were going to pay off the electricity bill for Gencos, right? He said that. In April, he said that they have raised bonds. They raised bonds in January, they raised bonds in April. And the Democracy Day, he still referred to that same thing that he said they have raised bond and they have cleared, and the news came that they have paid backlog, only for us to hear from the Gencos leader that they have not been given a cover. And yet you say you believe in his words. So what exactly are you believing when he tells you one thing and he does a different thing?
Well, you see, that's why I told you that. I mean, leadership.
Is it not lying to the Nigerians or
I'm
deceitfulness?
coming. You see, leadership activity is not a one-man affair. You know, Mr. President has a minister for power. Are you
Okay.
aware of that?
Yeah, I'm aware.
And in your innermost of heart, can you assess the former minister of power as having done very well? Let's be honest to ourselves.
Yeah, he hasn't done nothing.
Oh, that's just exactly what I'm saying. So it is possible that Mr. President may have given a directive to him to equally do what is, but at the end of the day, the minister was unable to implement that.
If I quote Mr. President when he was an opposition leader, he said the ball falls on the president's decks. Now he's sitting at that same desk. Is the ball not falling on his own decks? So why are you trying to deviate it from him to the minister?
I'm not saying that. This is because Mr. President appointed the minister for power. It's expected that all that Mr. President said, all that Mr. President wanted to be done as far as the power sector is concerned, must be implemented by the minister of power.
So you believe the president has done very well?
Well, I may not say. I think he has done his best, and that's why I said his best may not have been the best for Nigerians. You know what I mean? In my own assessment, I think he has done his best.
Okay, he's done his best.
Unless you want me to score him, then I can go ahead and score him.
No, don't score him. I don't want that your score now. What exactly has the president really done in this area? So you want to score him. Now, let's take aspect of Nigeria, one after the other. You say the president did well, you are going to score him. Let's get the score. I want to hear your score on this segment in Nigeria. Wait, we want to look at the various segments of Nigeria. Then if you score him, we can then get an average of it. You can't score him generally, let's say, taking thing holistically, but Nigeria is divided into facets. Okay, let's take it one after the other. In education, what's your score?
I'll score Mr. President 75% in education.
Why?
Because under his administration, so many high institutions have sprung up. So many universities have sprung up. So many federal colleges of education, so many polytechnics have sprung up. And under his watch, ASU strike appears to have evaporated into the wind. That's one. Then Mr. President against all odds, which include but not limited to the fact that at least Nigeria is passing through excruciating economic pains. Mr. President has gone ahead to provide Nigerian undergraduates the NELFON, which I've not had for so many years.
Great.
But what do you have now?
Wait now. Jude, cool down. Okay, fine. He has provided NELFON. How much has been voted for NELFON? 5 billion or 90 billion?
Pardon?
How much was voted for NELFON?
I wouldn't know, but I know that most
for how many people are beneficiaries of that? Most
of the undergraduates I know.
So you vote NELFON and you jack up the school fees price for the rest?
Well, I don't know.
Is that a good thing?
No,
you're a parent, you're paying school fees. Yes. Some other people are giving 25,000, 90 or whatever to pay school fees, and then they jack up the price for the rest. Is that a good thing?
Well, but after all,
you said it scored well. Okay, fine. Two, you said so many new tertiary institutions have sprung up.
Yes.
Is under Tinubu's government, how much is JAMB cutoff mark to enter these institutions?
Well, you may notice it.
Does that devalue our educational standard?
The cutoff point is a reflection of the candidate's ability.
No, it's a reflection of our academic system. It's not ability.
No. You see, things are changing.
Students perform well if we have good institutions, good trained teachers that will bring out the very best. That's what parents pay school fees for. I'm a parent, you're a parent. We pay school fees for our students who are children who are not very educated to be educated. You don't blame the parents now. They're doing their best, they're trying, and they're paying school fees. The schools have nothing to train these children with. Really?
Let me ask you.
Yes?
If you compare the performance of students now and their counterparts when you were in the university, when I was in the university, what will you say? Are you saying that, I mean, their performance?
There are different circumstances. I don't want to be answering questions about, but I want to clear your data in a little way. When we were in school,
yes,
the school was not flooded. We have to get to university by merit. You have to get your JAMB. You will sit down in the house, wait for your JAMB admission to come and meet you. Then you go and do your registration. I hope you understand that.
Of course, yes.
And then because we had lecturers that we don't have to use 10,000 lecturers lecture hall for one lecturer that will be teaching and nobody's hearing anything. There was light. There was almost everything. You go to school, there's fan blowing, there's few computers here and there that will be enough for the. Can you say that the students of these days have that same thing? No, no. So you can't expect that you don't give them what to learn and you expect them to learn well. So there are different scenarios. But that is not the issue.
Okay,
I'm the interviewer here. Don't tell me to become the defendant. Now let's go back. We are trying to look at the educational sector.
Yes.
So in your own words, he has done 75%. We look at our schools now. Our schools, are they safe for them to even go to school? Are students now going to school now in education? Are they paying less? Are the schools more equipped? Are the system much better? Are the students passing JAMB now? Can they even go to school? Can parents afford to pay school? These are all educational issues. So are you telling me that with a 75% score, President has done well in that aspect? Let's move on to security.
Okay.
What's your score on security?
I will score, Mr. President, 63% in security. 63? Yes.
When we have kidnappings, 50 kidnappings in 1 week?
Let me explain.
Okay.
You see, the truth, I was saying that a couple of minutes ago. You see, the truth is that the insecurity situation we're having in this country now, it's true that it has risen to its highest level of crescendo, but that I told you that there are saboteurs within the system that are sabotaging Mr. President's efforts in the fight against insecurity. How do you explain the fact that even the American government has to even come to Nigeria and, to aid us in the fight against terrorists, and yet we are still recording what we have?
The president, don't bring in America, because America came here to do surveillance. They came here to give you intel, which they have done.
But they were able to bomb some this.
No, that was before they even came in. They sent in bomb, and then Nigerian government went ahead to cry. The Tinubu administration said they have no sovereignty for them to come to Nigeria, and they stopped. They gave you that they have about 30 different locations divided into 1,000, which the Nigerian government never told us. Now you're scoring the president 63% in security, and we have our children in the bushes being kidnapped. In Jonathan's administration, one school in Chibok, one school, they kidnapped them and then took them away, and the thing caused a lot of rancor. In Buhari's administration, Dapchi College, one school. In Tinubu now, how many schools children have been abducted?
That's exactly what I'm telling you, that those who are abetting.
Who is the commander-in-chief?
I'm coming now. And the sponsoring insecurity activities in Nigeria, are becoming too much. You know what former President Obasanjo told Nigerians? He said that, terrorism appears to be the highest investment in the country for now. And there are people, if you look at the level of sophistication of some of these terrorists, some of these kidnappers, you know that somebody somewhere is sponsoring them.
So what you're telling me now is that you're shifting the blame to sponsors?
Yeah, for this, yeah. And
but who has the authority to stop the sponsors?
Well, Mr. President is doing his best, but then, you see, remember...
My question is, who has the authority?
I'm coming. Yeah, most of the bulk, like you said, stops at Mr. President. But the point is this: security is everybody's business.
Yes, true. Security is everybody's business. But what is the primary responsibility of every government?
Well, to secure lives and property of the citizens.
Exactly. Is the president doing that now?
The president is doing. That's why I told you he's been doing his best, even though his best is.
All right, let's move to economy. Yes. What will be your percentage for President Tinubu?
Well, I will score him 60% in the economy.
How?
Yes.
Well, explain.
Yeah, the reason is because Nigeria is now getting a higher shareable revenue among the three tiers of government. That's number one. Number two, though, there are so many big projects, gigantic projects that are going on in the country now. Can you believe that or not? Mr. President has equally been investing much in agriculture. But this insecurity problem is a clog in our wheel of progress as far as our economic development is concerned. Okay. Because there cannot be any meaningful development in an atmosphere of rancor, devour of peace. I hope you know about that. So that explains why we've not been doing very well, economically speaking. But at least,
are you making excuses for the commander-in-chief?
Well, of course, yeah, because is he not a human being? Yeah,
you're making excuses for somebody who should stamp out authority, stamp out security, and every other thing that he has every resources at his disposal to do that.
If he's doing,
why are you making excuses instead of going straight to the thing? You're blaming people on seen faces that we don't know for the shortcomings in the presidency. That's what you've been doing.
No man is an island all by himself.
Okay.
The fight against insecurity will not be a Mr. President affair alone. It must be the affairs of all the governors, all the local government chairmen, all the citizens of this country. Because the security, they say, is everybody's business. And it must have to be for...
It's everybody's business. Do you have a gun?
Well, even if I don't have a gun, there are ways I can assist the security.
Okay. Do you have...
I'm coming about...
Do you have the intelligence gathering tools to even submit those information you're talking about?
Of course I can. Because there's this saying that if you see something, you say something. If I notice anywhere something is going wrong, even as an Imolite, I have the right, I have the audacity and ability to go and inform the security agents. And
fine, we're done with the security. We're done with security. We're looking at the economy. You said the Tinubu administration give people more money, right?
Of course, yes.
And they have generated more money.
Of course, yes.
And they have generated more hunger.
Well, I don't know. You
as a person, are you feeling more hungry now than before, or you were hungry before than now?
I was never hungry, and I'm not hungry, and I will not be hungry.
I'm not saying you are hungry, man. I look at what hungry in the sense is it's a big word. It shows that you are living better now than before.
Well,
would you say that?
I'm not living better now than before. But then, I do not want to apportion that blame to Mr. President alone. You remember that even as we speak now, because of the war going on between America and Iran and Israel, you will discover that, the prices of almost everything has spiraled up to an unprecedented.
But what you've been doing all day is making excuses. You're making excuses for a president who's supposed to be specific in his policies. He devalued our currency. He floated our naira. He brought in policies that made everybody lose money. They're generating more money with less value for the naira. So who brought all these policies that put us into this problem? Now, the same man has mortgaged Nigerian future by borrowing. That's what the opposition say. I don't know what they mean by that, but the issue is that when you borrow, and then you say you remove fuel subsidy and you're getting more money. When you borrow money, where is the money supposed? Who's going to pay the money?
But let me ask you.
Yeah. I'm asking a question now. You want to ask me a question? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I've always maintained that there is nothing wrong with any government borrowing, insofar as such borrows funds will be plopped for the development of our critical infrastructures mainly.
Okay.
Particularly electricity. Can
you mention two major projects that have been done and completed by all this monies borrowed by the president?
This is
Calabar Coastal Highway.
I think it's
30%.
It's still ongoing.
30% has been
still
done.
Ongoing. And so many federal roads, according to Mahe.
Which of them have been completed? And the first tenure of Tinubu is almost over.
They are ongoing.
Which of them have been completed? Tell me one road that is 10 kilometers have been done. 10 kilometers.
They are all ongoing.
Ongoing.
I know the standard.
So you use the whole of your one tenure to be doing ongoing project. Is that what you're saying?
What do you do when you have a lot of problems, belittling you? You know how much the nation has been spending in the fight against insecurity? Well, are you not aware of that?
They said they spent 51.78 billion from January to April.
There you are. And that is just for this year alone.
But we're looking for 210 trillion.
Well, that's the corruption that is bedeviling our society.
And the person works under who?
Minikiyari and his group.
Okay, it's been really, really wonderful. It's Barry Cosmos Unplugged, and of course our guest today is Chief Jude Ugbaja. Yes. They call him the controversial one. He's an APC member, an APC supporter of Mr. President. I don't know where all this is coming from, but you did your best to protect her and of course defend your president. But I want to hear what your take is in the comment section. Let me hear your own views of what has been said so far by Chief Jude Ugbaja supporting and defending the APC government. And of course, what is happening in the Nigerian political scene right now is something that is unprecedented, where 5 parties were just removed from being political parties 6 months to the election. So that is really, really crazy. And using an election that happened in 2023, you did not do anything. 2024, 2025, and then the January to half of the year, 6 months to the general elections, you're deregistering them. This is a very serious matter. I'd like to hear what your comment is in the comment section. Thank you very much for joining us. Chief Jude,
it's my pleasure. But I have not said that Mr. President is a saint. I want you to mark me.
Yeah.
But I think within limit of the problems around, I think he's been doing his
so
best. Even though his best may not have been enough for Nigerians.
All right, thank you very much, Chief Jude. And this is where we'll end it today. Just let me see your comments in the comment section. Thank you for joining us. This is Barry Cosmos Unplugged. Bye-bye. See you.